It was a stormy night. The thunder was booming outside our windows, and the flashes of lightning illuminated in the dark skies. Rain was pouring down like mad. I could see the faded streets around our neighborhood. It was drenched in from the oncoming storm. My dad was shopping for a few groceries at Walmart, and our mom was off to work as a security guard at a local mall. My dad doesn't do night shifts like my mom does, as he clearly enjoys doing paperwork on one of the jobs where you sit on your butt and pathetic little cube, and just do a bunch of numbers and budgets until you can't take it much longer. It must be maddening. Me, on the other hand, I just watched a bunch of reruns of old Scooby-Doo episodes with my little brother Dylan, until we got bored and decided to watch Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island and Scooby-Doo in the Cyber Chase, one of my favorites. Before we got the chance of doing so, my dad comes home. We see him in his car with the headlights shining through the window curtains. He came inside wearing his raincoat and carrying some bags. We got in our raincoats and he helped our dad bring some groceries inside. That's when I saw it. Inside one of the bags was a VHS copy of Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, along with some DVDs of Scarface and The Godfather. I know what you're thinking, the old VHS tape cliche, but hear me out. It was the early 2000s, so it was pretty reasonable for me to bring that up. Many VHS tapes are worth 50 cents or even up to a few dollars, though. Collectible tapes could be sold up for $50 or more. Beta tape max tapes could be sold up to $20 or more. I pulled out the VHS out and our dad gave us the warm smile. He brought it over just for us. He unwrapped the plastic and opened up the case and popped into the tape in the VCR. After the FBI warning and a few trailers, the movie played out as normal. It was unique to see the look of the animation as Shaggy himself, instead of green, Shaggy's shirt was a deep shade of red. His purple pants was blue and his black shoes were brown. The movie starts off with Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, and Scrappy-Doo on their way to Miss Grimwood's finishing school for girls, where they've been hired as gym teachers. What made it so interesting was the fact that it was actually storming in the movie as well, much like the one we're having right now. Once there, however, the trio found out it was actually a school for girl ghouls. The purple pupils included Sibella, the daughter of Count Dracula, Elsa Frankenstein, Dean, the daughter of Frankenstein's monster, Winnie, the daughter of the Wolfman, Phantasma, usually called Fanty for short, the ghostly daughter of the Phantom, and Tanis, the daughter of the Mummy, and all the parodies tribute to the Universal's monsters of 1930s or 40s. Other residents of the school were Floating White Hand, an octopus who is the school's butler, Legs, a spider that helps with the upcoming volleyball match, Miss Grimwood, the head mistress, and her diminutive pet dragon Matches. Frightened by this, Shaggy and Scooby incidentally were hesitant, but eventually they agreed to stay as gym teachers. The following morning begins with a class and the new teachers taking ballet lessons. Gym class soon starts so the girls can be trained up for their upcoming volleyball match against the boys of the neighborhood in Callaway Military Academy. The boys rig the volleyball in the remote control, but because they accidentally squirt of ketchup, the boys lose the remote and Scooby accidentally swallows the remote and allows the girls to win instead. The girls' fathers come in for the open house on Halloween night, and they leave due to various reasons. They warn fearful Shaggy and Scooby to not let any harm come to their daughters, or they'll be in big trouble. The power-hungry witch Revolta, the self-styled witch of the web, and her minion Grim Creeper plans to kidnap the girls to make them her slaves. She starts by hypnotizing Shaggy into taking the girls on a field trip to the barren bog. On that same day, the Callaway cadets were at the bog. With that on top of Revolta's spider bats, Revolta and the Grim Creeper capture the girls, and Revolta makes a potion that will turn them evil forever at the stroke of midnight. After entering Revolta's castle, by the way, Scooby's tail as a key, the gang splits up to search for the place. A mirror monster scares Scooby and shows Shaggy the mirror. He makes funny faces stating that that is just a silly reflection, like they were at the carnival. Now for those who haven't watched the movie, which is unlikely, this identical to Shaggy from the neck down. He stares the exact same outfit as Shaggy. However, his demonic version of Shaggy's eyes have spirals of red and yellow, and his ears and tail tall and pointed, and the goatee covers which is much on his jaw, and his hair was more frizzled, and then his mouth was filled with pointed teeth. If this were to be a live-action movie, it would have given any kid nightmares. Hell, it would even be the fan base of bricks. As we continued watching, Scooby and that mirror monster is coming out of the mirror and lunging at Shaggy, and this is where things began to take a dark turn. As the eyes glued it to themselves on the screen, the monster mirror grabs Shaggy and immediately cuts to a shot of outside the Revolta's View Castle as it panned out. What disturbed me the most was that we can hear a blood-curdling scream of Shaggy booming through the speakers. We didn't hear Scooby at all. I wondered if Scooby ran off like a coward like he always did. But I always knew in the back of my mind that he would never leave Shaggy behind. Not even a million years. But I wanted to know more. Wanted to know what that monster did to Shaggy. Before I got to answer, our father heard the screaming and saw what was happening. He immediately pulled out the tape and apologized for repeating it for scaring us. Dylan was even more terrified than I was. Me, on the other hand, I was shaken up by this whole thing, but quite alright, at least for now. Later that night, Dylan and I kept on repeating what had happened for our heads, asking ourselves about Shaggy's, demise, if that's what you want to put it in this case. I don't know. So keep this to ourselves from getting any more scared in our life. We wind up watching the Cyberchase movie until it was time for bed. We slept in our beds, dreaming certain dreams that we haven't known or dreamed for existed or not. It was dark, and I was in some sort of abandoned mansion. I was scared and running through the endless hallway, dimly lit chambers. The secret passages held screenshots or secrets of beyond comprehension. The whole place looked horrible, and everything was black. The stuffed animals, they were all gargoyles with devilish grimaces on them. It felt like the whole mansion was out there to get me. Even though I wasn't living there wasn't a living thing in sight. Suddenly, I began to hear something, the sounds of Shaggy's echoing throughout the place. He sounded so desperate. I followed the voice, and I was unable to stop my legs from moving forward. It was pitch black, and the light only came from a single spotlight shining through what seemed to be the center of the ancient dungeon. As I walked towards light, Shaggy became more visible, and he was still behind the damn glass. He was saying stuff like, "Help me," and "Why didn't you save me? Run away before he gets you too." And that's where I saw him, or it. The cause of his agony, the same beast that trapped him within the mirror. He came down the stairs, and slowly and deliberately, with a mansional grin, his eyes burned with smoldering rage and etched itself into my very soul. He took one look at me and licked his lips, and his breath was cold and bubbly. As he came closer and closer to me, his tongue slowly failed like a lizard from another planet. His teeth bared like a dog, and his smile stretched until an uncomfortable length. So much so that I thought that his skin would rip. His eyes still locked onto me, and he was now close enough for me to see every detail of his face. It was awful, beastly, and unnameable. He then did look at Shaggy and then back at me, and then he spoke of a voice, sounding like an animal being strangled. "Don't you feel sorry for him? He's weak, feeble, and pathetic. Of course he's just a man. I didn't expect to do anything. Beyond that, I could shatter his soul, recombine it as I see it. He will run and hide like those cowardly fools, although he won't get very far." "Who are you?" I asked timidly and still trembling. He looks at me with a look of marvelous. "I am the face of everything. Have you ever been afraid of?" "I am the voice in your head," there he assures you. "That death approaches. I am the every ounce of hurt that you ever experience. I am pain, and now I will put pain into your soul. As I strip the means of your bone and have you lying down empty in a pool of your own intestines, a smile will stretch across my lips. Love it when you suffer. Love it when I break your spirit and leave nothing but hollow shell." When he grabbed me, I woke up sweating, and my heart was beating in my chest like a drum. The rest of the week went pretty well. There was nothing out of the ordinary. I was singularly at ease. That's when I found out what happened to that VHS tape. The reason that I encounter, it was that someone around Chicago, Illinois had tampered with a VHS tape copy of Scooby-Doo in the Ghoul School and had animated this into the own version of the movie as he cut out the tape, placed another scene in it, and put it back together. I don't know why he did how he did, but he did it somehow. He sold the same copy to some people and put it on a shelf in my hometown. He was never caught, and the police are still after this guy to this day for tampering with a public property. I don't even know to be honest. It wasn't on the news somehow, but it was mainly because it's a rarity for someone to do this. I have no clue on what happened after that. But what I do know is that it had traumatized for me for life, even to the point of having difficulty explaining that form of fiction. I tried to enjoy my week and found it a bit difficult. Even though I'm growing up, I still don't know what some sort of backcrap asshole would do go so far as some scared a little kid for life. But as I stated before, the rest of the week went pretty well, and I even made up to high school on my first day. However, after my first day of high school, I went home to ask my dad something, but I don't remember what it was, but I think it had something to do with some sort of GameStop. But my dad had his back turned to me and he was down. He was sitting on the desk and he was in his office writing something. In a little bit, he replied, I'm busy. There was something about his voice that was off-putting. He sounded quiet and muffled, like if he was tired or something. Dad, are you okay? I asked. Then he turned around directly at me. That's when I saw it. His eyes were spirals of red and yellow. Never better, was all he said. It's been a few weeks now and I'm still looking at my prescription at the pharmacy. There's one pill left. Dylan says that I might have a problem, and I don't blame him for being concerned. I have to take these pills every morning, and it's the only thing that keeps me from hallucinating. I need a refill. I'm starting to hear the tapping of my glass in the bathroom mirror. And that, my little pretties, was Mirror Monster Shaggy, a Scooby-Doo Lost episode creepypasta written by the Dark Cat 97, or the Dark Cat himself. The Dark Cat, I want to thank you so much for the story. Now let's get to the pasta itself. I actually found this one to be a really good Scooby-Doo Lost episode pasta. I have seen a couple other Scooby-Doo pastas, like the one that Kai Simpson wrote. Even the ones that I've wrote, they were personally pretty good in my opinion. But another thing I could definitely say that I really liked about this Scooby-Doo pasta is that even though the VHS tape cliche was around, even though I think this took place in the early 2000s, I am willing to excuse it because it make a lot of sense. Like, it's not, even though when there's cliches, it's not like someone, find this VHS tape or anything in a mailbox or go to a store and, go to a thrift shop and they get it or something, that's cliched. But this one, I'm willing to give it a pass. It's actually a really good creepypasta. I actually found it very freaky, the monster Shaggy, like, my goodness, he was really freaky in Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, like, in that part, where Scooby goes to the mirror and finds out, it's a monster, and he shows Shaggy, and Shaggy also sees himself as a monster when he gets locked in the mirror. I actually really found this pasta to be relatively really good. Like, the grammar of this story worked out well. The sentence structuring worked out nicely. The storyline was just flat out awesome. I honestly really think that this story actually did a really good job with the story. Like, I know there's a lot of time and effort into the story, so that's a very good positive when it comes to writing these. You always have to make sure the grammar and all that is good. And that's a main thing. What I can definitely say what I liked about the pasta was that there were it was a great concept to it. Like, I could definitely tell there was like a lot of great concept to this story. And this story was actually pretty cool. And I could definitely say that it was really, really cool. Now, is there anything negative I do have to say about it? No. I don't have anything negative to say about this story. But I could definitely say this story was actually really well done. And, the grammar was good. I can definitely say the grammar was really good. I can definitely say that there was a lot of time and effort into the story. And this is the most important thing that I do have to say, was that the story itself was actually really well made. Like, here's the thing. I actually liked how the whole thing went out. The protagonist ends up getting nightmares because of, the monster Shaggy in the mirror. I could definitely say, a hallucination. That's kind of possible. With hallucinations, you could kind of, think that they are there when they're currently not. But it's actually really freaky. Like, this story really freaked me out. I do remember Dave the Useless narrated this just yesterday, by the way. And, well, it's actually pretty cool, to be completely honest. Freaky, I can definitely say. But it was really good and really well done. Now, I was hoping Dark Cat would do more Scooby-Doo related stories, which I hope he does more of these, because these are really cool. Maybe he could do something with Witch's Ghost or something. Maybe that's a possibility. He could do something with the Witch's Ghost movie at some point. But anyways, this was actually a really good story. And this is on Spin Pasta. And here's the thing. This story was actually really good. Besides that, on the Spin Pasta Wiki, I'm going to be honest, Spin Pasta is slowly becoming like Goshia. I don't understand why that's the case, but it is. Now, for the Goshia Wiki, even though it's crap, only if Dark Cat or Matthew Bumford wrote me a story on there, that will be the only time I'll touch that site. But, the story itself there was definitely a lot of time and effort into it, and I definitely could say, Dark Cat, you did an awesome job with this story, and I definitely hope you'd write more Scooby-Doo related ones, because I would love to see them. Okay, I think I kind of, explained, what I liked about it and stuff, and the ending was really freaky as well, like the fact that, the protagonist comes home and, asks his dad for, if, about something, and his dad said in a minute, or that he's busy, and then he comes out to realize his face was like the monster Shaggy from the mirror. Oh boy, that was definitely freaky, I can definitely tell you that. But with all due sincerity, this was actually a really good story, and for those who want to narrate it, it's on Spin Pasta. For those who want to check it out, you're more than welcome to, and I highly recommend you read this story for those who are starting to narrate creepypastas. Narrate this story, as it's a really good Scooby-Doo one. And I really hope I could find more Scooby-Doo ones in the future. Like, besides the ones I've wrote, I'm hoping to find some new ones. But, it's hard to say. I could definitely say that this pasta has a lot of time and effort into it. And I definitely could say it was freaky, but it was also really well done as well. Okay. Like I'm going to say right now, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas. This is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. It's a great creepypasta, great concept. The grammar and everything was actually flowed out well. Like the flow of the story was freaky as hell. It was really well done, and it was definitely time and effort into the story. So that is why it's getting a 10 out of 10. Flat out amazing. I really hope I could find more Scooby-Doo stories written by you someday, Dark Cat. And also keep up with the good work. I really highly appreciate that. And anyway, and like always, what do you all think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what would you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so then you guys won't miss an upload. And like always, please roll the outro, because I'm out of here, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out.